time of the week again. Prepare yourself for the surveyors of sauce, the sultans of spaghetti, the whispers in your ears. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the What's Your Spaghetti Policy podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Alex and Jacob.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited about getting older because I think I want white hair. I want to be like 65, 70, glistening white chest hair, pecs, whole 9 yards, like shredded granddad. That's what I want to be, man. I want
but you're gonna have to work twice as hard the older you get.
Well, they say, I don't know. I think that it takes less when you get older because it's like,
Yeah, but your body is like dying.
I mean, yeah, we're all already
you're
dying,
fighting.
dude.
You're fighting that, right?
So, okay.
Plus, the older you get, the weaker you get. Not just
they
like
say that
physically.
like we're always dying, right? Like programmed cell death, right? So it's inevitable.
Yeah,
we're gonna die
since the moment you're born.
But the moment you're born,
You have an
like
end
you're
date.
growing.
Mm-hmm.
So does that not mean that like you're
growing
the
is
opposite?
part of the death process, though?
But isn't that just mean like you're the opposite of like dying? You're flourishing.
No, you're heading towards the end.
Yeah, but you're not there yet. You're not that.
But
it's not until
you
get
have
to
a
that
finite
peak.
amount of time.
Yeah, I know that, but like it's when you get to the peak, right?
Yeah, but you don't know when you peak.
You wouldn't say that a flower is dying, right?
It is on its way to death. Yes.
But it's like until like if
it's
I plant
semantics,
a seed,
but like literally speaking, the moment you are a seed, you are on the path to death, because death is the only end to everything.
Yeah, life and death. These are the two things that we can control, right? Is that this line?
Did
I get the line right? Yeah, we definitely take them for granted for sure. I think it's definitely one of those things that can end very abruptly, but
often does.
But I don't know, man. I think like if you plant a seed, right? Technically speaking, you've planted a seed. It is now growing, right? It's not dying yet. It's not until it fruits and flowers that it's then dying.
I don't know how much more clear I can be.
But it's like I think that you're speaking like in terms of inevitability.
I'm literally is how I'm speaking.
Yeah, like inevitability. Like
I understand that like there's a process
all things
and like
death
you grow.
Is what
yes,
you're
it's
going
like
with. Yeah,
the hills and valleys and the ebbs and flows. But literally, the moment is like the second you gasp breath, you are on your way to death.
And like how selfish
it might be 87 years, but you're there. You're getting there.
How like selfish and what is that word I'm looking for? It's not selfish, but it's like irresponsible of our parents, right? Why would they do this to us?
What do you mean?
Bring us into this world. I didn't ask to be here. You know what I mean? Like, how irresponsible of them, right?
I mean, are you upset about it?
A little bit. When I think about it, at the end of the day,
Are you?
I don't know. I guess because I think I won't be upset about it until I die. And it's like, hey,
you
thanks,
won't
guys.
know.
Well, why'd you do this? But then again, it's like then why did they do that?
Because they wanted to have kids.
Or they just a happy accident is what they call it,
I don't think that you were.
No, I was definitely playing. Like they were definitely to have a kid.
Normally the first one and the last one.
No, my parents pretty much told us like, yeah, we were aiming for a girl, so we're gonna keep trying until we had a girl. So I could have had like 6 siblings at this point, dude. And crazy.
It's I say it all the time. It's so weird to me. Like,
or maybe I do.
Like girls are. There are more women. There are more females on Earth than there are males. Right? Mm-hmm. Everyone starts out as a female.
Go women, dude. Honestly,
everyone starts out as a female and then evolve.
Yeah, they get their little peepees and their little nutsacks. Yeah.
Out of like all of my friends,
mm-hmm.
almost everyone has boys.
Oh, everyone has a wiener. I guess. That is one way of saying it. Yeah.
Indiana Ian would be the only person I know right off the top of my head that has a daughter.
You have a daughter as well, yeah.
I know me,
but I guess you're talking about your friends, yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about, like me, and then like everyone else has boys or multiple.
I mean,
and it's just even crazier because like I went to go see my grandpa over the weekend, and I was sort of just like asking because like I had mentioned what my last name means. When it's broken down, it means divine bear, like holy bear.
That's so cool. Yeah,
fucking
so
cool
rad.
Shit, right? Like it's
and kind of on brand, really. When you think
and like it is Scottish in nature and English. And I was just asking him, like, like how far back can you recall? Because he's getting old. He's like 86. But I was like, how far back can you like remember? Because my dad's biological, I think I've told this story. My dad's biological mom died when he was 14 months old.
Damn, dude. That's metal.
It's not. It was
That's your
mysterious.
granddad's mom, right?
It would be my biological grandmother, but she was way gone
Wait, are
before
we
I was
talking about your dad? Or I forgot who we're talking
my
about.
dad's mom,
Okay, okay.
the
I'm back.
woman who
Okay.
gave birth
Yeah.
to my dad.
Okay, okay. I'm back. I'm back in the story.
She died when he was 14 months old.
Damn, dude. R.I.P. I'm sorry.
It was always speculated to be like nefarious. This is the story I was always told was this was back in, you got to understand where my dad comes from.
I don't think you've told this story before, by the way.
Oh,
I don't. Yeah, because
my
I
dad's
would have known.
mom was a school
Nefarious.
teacher,
Yeah.
and my grandpa was in the military, whatever. And so I think she died like 2 or 3 miles from where, like, she had dropped my dad off at his grandma's, would have been my great grandma, dropped her off, and she died like 3 miles down the road.
I mean, I don't.
But
Okay.
the theory was she was ran off the road because back then you were able to spank children, you were able to discipline them in class, and I guess she had disciplined the wrong kid, and they chased her down and they fucking ran her off a ravine.
Okay. I mean,
That was always what I was told. But the weird part is
yeah.
like
I
think
mean, okay.
about like if he had been in the car.
Yeah, like I mean, I guess we wouldn't be here right now doing this.
Correct.
I
Correct.
probably wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in, where I'm like super awesome and
So
shredded
there's
and stuff.
that. Okay, there's that,
Yeah.
right? That's weird. But then I was like, because I knew my great grandmother,
Mhm.
which is my grandpa's mom, right?
Okay.
Meanest fucking old lady I'd ever met in my entire life. Just old and just hateful and just
Okay.
curmudgeonly and just like never had a nice thing to say about anyone. Just
Do you think that like
cantankerous.
that's
Hold on,
okay?
old
Go ahead.
lady. And I never really asked why. I don't know why it took me 35 years to ask, but like I knew that my grandpa's dad had died,
Hmm.
but he died when my grandpa was, when I guess he was 3.
Okay. I thought you were gonna be
So
like 14 months old and be like, oh, okay, that's like, whoa,
I
that's
mean, it's still weird that my grandpa was 3
hmm
and his dad died of tuberculosis
shit, and that's a hard way to go. Fucking, that's a
at 33. And like I started thinking, I'm like, well, damn, like my dad's still alive. So,
yeah.
but if you trace it back, I think like Zoe is, I thought it was 7 generations, but it's like 6. She's the
Hmm.
first like female in 6 generations because like even before then, I was like, well, what about your grandparents? And he's like, well, they were born in like 1860. And
Damn, it's so long ago.
he's
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, he's like, I mean, he was born in the 20s
Who was your grand?
or
Okay,
my
your
30s. He was
granddad.
born in the
Yeah,
30s. Sorry.
your
And
granddad, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
39, I think is when my grandpa was born.
Okay,
So
that checks out.
so like my great grandpa would have been, would have
Dead
went
at
to
least.
would have went to World War II, but he died before then.
Yeah.
But then like my grandpa was telling me about like I was like, how did we get here? He says, from my understanding, there was a group of 5 brothers that came over from Scotland in like the 1600s.
Dude, I need to ask my
And
parents that.
yeah,
Like that's the shit that you don't think about. Like I don't
well, I told him, I was like, I need you to like write all this down because I was like, there's no one to
because you're
tell this.
if I
Like,
could get a die soon or something like
well,
that, like it's like
it's just
no,
like that
leave the family
that
history.
knowledge is lost. Like when he
Yeah.
dies, and I like, I don't know if he will, but I just like that. I find that super interesting. Like
Oh
how did,
shit.
you know what
I
I mean?
just
Like how
realized
did I get here?
my dad's parents are both passed away. So it's like
Yeah,
hopefully somebody
but your
named them.
dad probably knows some of the story, right? Because
I
they
can
had to
text. I'll text him and ask him. I'll text him right now and ask him.
be like, what's the oldest lineage you know of our family? Like, because you're, I mean, I guarantee there's Irish somewhere in you.
Oh, I mean, yeah, obviously. Like, oh, like
But I
my
mean,
last
like,
name.
all redheads like inherently Irish?
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's more so just like the last name that I have is my last name, Brian. I think we already did that on the last episode, but it's like it comes from O'Brien, which is like a
Yeah,
very like
O'Brien.
Ubrin, but not to one up you or anything, but it does derive from the word meaning high or noble. So like, I'm probably royalty or something. So
I mean, that's fine. How's that working out for you now?
I'm just waiting on that inheritance check, really.
Yeah.
Waiting to get my castle over there in Scotland or Ireland, whoever wants to give me one, you know. So fucking
But I
take
just
it.
thought it was like super cool because then he was telling me about how either his grandma or yeah, I guess it was his grandma got married when she was 15 and they moved to Oklahoma
Different times back then, yeah.
in like 1860.
Theoretically, like in the 1860s, 15 was the
Maybe it
30s,
was
right? You were
1820
30 years
or
old at
1890s
that
or
point.
I don't know. Like I don't remember exactly when, but like you think about like oh, like World War II, World War One, like yeah, so long ago, but like eh, I mean
Honestly, like a blip in history.
I
Like it's
mean
like,
my grandpa was alive during World War II,
yeah, might as well. Might as well, yeah. And then,
but my grandpa's still alive.
yeah, that's fair. You got me there. You got me there, dude. I get
I
it.
mean,
Brag about it more. Why don't you?
your parents are a little older than mine.
Yeah, my dad's like, I think he's like 60 or something like that. I don't even know, dude. It's like
Well, he's got to be
65.
older than that.
He was born in the 60s. So he's 65 now, right?
Well, I mean, my dad's
75? No, he's
61,
65. Yeah, no, my granddad was like 75 or 76, something like
so
that.
he's like 12 when he had your
Or
dad.
80. No, like my
I
my
don't think
mom's
you
my
know.
mom's granddad. Sorry, my mom's granddad.
Okay, so anyways, I don't know. It was just I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I
It
gotta
was,
I gotta inquire about our history more. That's a good question. Hey, it's a good homework assignment for all of us. You
it
know,
would make your dad like, hey, you know what? Maybe my kid's all right.
I
Just
guess I don't
taking
know.
an interest in this family for once.
I guess I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Well, because like my
Uh,
grandpa gave me this like it was a whole ordeal. Like I don't know if you've ever heard the clock debacle.
no.
It's
Did he
the
give you a clock and you didn't accept it as like a gracious gift and like you didn't bow to him whenever he handed it to you and like you
I
took it as
did
a
it was a
dishonor?
grandfather clock that I didn't want, but it was like not handmade, but like there was things added to it, and there was all the pictures that I'm like referring to of all these people that he had get. He's like, "Well, I gave you that." I'm like, "I don't. The pictures don't do me any good. I don't like that. Doesn't tell me. It's just pictures of dead people. I want to know like where they came from. Like I'm more
Yeah, there's
interested
not
in
like
the
bibliographies written on
yeah,
the back of
right,
them like a video game or something,
right.
like
There's no
1963, and it's like
manual that tells me.
yeah,
It's just just like a
and it's
who's
like
who.
I understand like wanting to hand down stuff to your kids, but at the
I
same
don't
time,
want it.
a grandfather clock, dude, that's like handing somebody a grand piano, be like, here you go, it's the family heirloom, the grand piano. Like, yeah, I hope you have a fucking acre in your house to set
He
aside for
is
this thing.
my grandpa is very proud of the fact that he has like 17 clocks in his house, all working and none of them the same time.
It's so weird, dude. That they're because it's like such an old person thing too, right? The clocks and all of them are going
Well,
off at once.
I guess that like when you go back, there's like value, like that is like status. You know, you have all this fine china, and then you have these grandfather
You're
clocks,
able to
right?
tell time, dude.
Like me, I buy fucking toys, and they
Yeah.
bought clocks. And he was telling me, he's like, "You see that clock in the corner? I gave I got a case of beer for that." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "It's worth about $5,000 now." I'm like,
But is
five
it?
thousand dollars
Because
to
if you're
who?
not gonna sell it,
Because like
yeah.
if because like I'll take it, but like I want to be able to take it and then just like take it to this store. I don't want the rigmarole of like trying to find a motherfucker who wants it,
Yeah, you're
who
taking out
like
Pawn Stars over here.
who will then try to barter with me. I'll give you $500 in cash. And I would
Rick's
take
gonna
it.
bring in a guy. He knows a guy. Don't
I would
worry.
take it. I would take $500.
Yeah, and then you're selling an heirloom for $500. He's like,
But like,
I guess theoretically, it's more than the case of beer.
what
So
makes it an heirloom? I guess it's just something that's passed down. Like it doesn't really have to have any sort of significance. But
I think that
normally,
there normally is a sentimental value
so it's
attached to
that
it.
like there's not. It's not like a fucking ruby that was
It's a blood
mined.
diamond or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Like
Yeah,
it's just
unless
well,
like it's like
I
his
bought this with my first paycheck, or my great grandfather gave this to me with his first paycheck for a nickel.
unless like on their way over here, like his grandfather's father's grandfather
Yeah.
died trying to get it across the border, and like
He
he's like
smuggled it
his
up his butt.
dying wish was like, take this and give it to your great
Yeah,
great great great
it's
great
a gold chain
grandchild.
that he smuggled in through his butt.
Yeah, dude, hell yeah, man, give me that poop chain, granddad. Hell yeah, dude. But I mean,
Um,
I get it though, you know what I'm saying?
I do, but it's just like that's fine, and I think that there seems to be no real like boundary where because I guess like the closer you get towards the end, you just want to sort of like give shit away. Like, oh, I worked so hard for this. Like, I want to give it to somebody. But like you have to be able to take no for an answer,
Yeah.
and they don't. And then you run into like I've run into so many problems where I'm like, I don't want it. And it's
Yeah.
caused problems and hurt feelings. And it's like, why the fuck do I have to take this? Because you say so? Like, you know what I mean? And like that's a whole like
Okay, so
social
what's worse?
struggle.
What's worse? Sorry, I just saw the best opportunity for me to do a quick segue right here.
Okay.
What is worse though? Is it giving it to your grandchildren or you getting buried with it? What would you prefer in that situation?
I, I'm not. I don't know. I guess give it away. I guess so you can get some semblance of value out of it. I don't know.
Because that's like my thing is like, okay, so recently here there was a man. Oh man, I don't remember where it was.
Great segue that you
Yeah, dude, I'm
aren't
so
ready
good. I'm
for.
so good at this. I'm so good
Jesus
at this.
Christ.
At the Oak Lawn Memorial Garden, right? It was which it's a crime that we don't hear a lot enough of. We don't hear enough of it about it. Really, is grave robbing, right?
Because it's sort of.
I guess I still
I mean, it used to be a high crime 200 years ago.
high crimes and misdemeanors, Betty. Anyways,
I
they've
think that
got
people just
caught.
don't give a shit anymore.
I guess Indianapolis. That's where it was. Indianapolis.
It was
So
Ian's fault.
yeah, dude, this guy Seth Davidson, 24. Somebody told him. I guess I think he was technically speaking like a person who buries the bodies, and then like he found out there was a ring buried with
Crypt
somebody.
keeper.
Yeah, he's a crypt keeper or something like that. And so he said he couldn't stop thinking about the ring, and so he went and like dug the people up and took the ring off the body, and he like got caught. Like he was like he got caught like as going back to his car with the ring in his hand or whatever. It's just like I think it's stupid to be buried with stuff because it's dumb, right? It's like give it to
But it's
charity
just,
if
it's,
you
I
don't have
mean,
anybody to give it to.
the Egyptians did this shit
Yeah, and
in
look
their
where he got
tombs with
him.
fucking
It, it,
cats and shit.
it didn't get him fucking anywhere, did it? Like they're still
But,
dead.
but, but
They're
you have to understand, like, yes, we think it's dumb. Okay, we do. We think it's dumb. Like, what? Like,
yeah,
again, I don't even want to be buried. Just fucking burn me. Just like turn me into a pile of ash
plant a
and
tree with my ashes, dude. Hell
and
yeah.
move on, right? And let Zoe do whatever she wants to do with it. Um, and I'm just like Frank. I'm just throw me in the garbage. I don't care. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
I think like this reminds me of like a conversation we had like 3 years ago about
Oh
like
yeah, we've had a conversation about it already, but
about
it
their
was just like
corpse or whatever, and it's just like don't defile a corpse. Whatever.
it was
Like you
with
get
Ben actually. I'm remembering.
yeah,
It was
we
Ben.
get
We were
into
talking
all
about
of
it.
that,
Yeah.
and I've come down on my stance a little bit, but it's just like me personally, how I feel is not indicative of like what is considered right or wrong.
Yeah.
Because if like your wish is to be buried with this ring and you steal it, you are stealing from the family, right? Because it'd be different if like I'm like whatever's on my person, I don't care what you do with it.
Yeah. When I hit the ground, just rob me like you're a bunch of like
Right. Like
18th century pickpockets
but
and just
then if
rifle
you
through
say
my
that out
coat.
loud, the wrong person hears it, they fucking gank you, and then you're an unsolved mystery on, Dateline.
At least that's what they hope. That's what they hope is that you're an unsolved mystery. In reality, like they get caught like 2 seconds after they commit the murder. And
But
so
it's just like I know, I don't know. I guess there's just so much plentiful in life where is a gold ring, unless it's like the fucking one ring in from like
that's
Middle
that
Earth.
honestly that was the vibes that I got. I was like, is this
Are
the
you
ring? The
Gollum?
root?
Are you fucking
Yeah.
Smeagol? You
I
know what
say
I
you
mean?
lean into the bit. Honestly, you get caught with a gold ring, you'd be like,
Precious.
precious, and start acting
Then
super
you're going
crazy
to
about
jail
it.
immediately for being insane.
Hey, send me there, buddy. I've got caught my pants down. I mean, what are you gonna do?
I guess. But like the reason we don't hear about grave robbing because it's like, oh, you want a diamond? Okay, well, there's like a billion of them. You know what I mean? Like there back when like 200 years ago, you came, you got off the train in New York and you made your way out west during the gold rush, and all you had was what was on your person, and
A
so
lot of those people died though too. Like a lot of
right.
people
But
went for
then when
looking
you
for
have
gold,
a
and
gold ring,
yeah.
it is much rarer than it is now. That's what I'm saying. Like and then more and more people are being cremated, and or if like someone's not, they're put in like locations,
Oh, that was the
unmarked
thing.
graves,
This
and
person was cremated, but they were buried as well with the ring. So I don't understand it. Maybe a smaller plot, I would assume, is that like So
I guess it's whatever.
I think that it's fine because it's like to me,
I don't grave rob. It's against the
the- I,
law.
yeah, okay. I guess legally we should say don't grave rob, right? Right. So
No, I'm saying don't do it.
I'm saying don't do it, right? Because I mean,
That's fine
like,
that you can wink and say that, but I'm saying don't do it.
yeah, I'm
I'm
also saying don't do it. What are you saying? Like, just like I don't think that you should do it. I think that it's a crime and you get caught. But I
but
also think if
but
somebody's willing to go the extra mile, right? I would assume that they have fallen on hard times,
hard
right?
times. You don't know
Hard
about hard
times.
times, daddy.
So
Some on
like
a plumber.
I would assume that people who are grave robbing, if not for the cadavers for science, which is like how it originally started grave robbing and whatnot, I would argue,
That is not how grave robbing
yeah, it
started.
was.
It
It
was not.
originally
They were stealing.
okay, yes.
They were not
There
using it for
were people who
science in the
were also
1700s.
stealing. They
But
were real
also grave robbing
also
goes back to the Crusades too,
yeah, that's fair. But also
when you
there
didn't have
were
anything.
there were scientists when they were like back in the day who they would pay grave robbers to get them bodies essentially.
Yes,
And so like
that
they
is
would go
true.
and like get the
But why
bodies
would they
for
pay
them.
them? Because it was a crime.
Yeah, because yes, theoretically it was a crime to, and they couldn't come across fresh cadavers, dude. So it's like, what are
The
you
people
gonna
were
do?
dying at 25,
Yeah, and they
like
couldn't have
flies,
them. They wouldn't give them to them.
fucking
So
botulism and black plague.
yeah, man.
But then you can't use those. You get the super awesome bird mask though. Like that's still
Did they
aesthetically
help?
black plague. Cool.
Yeah, super rad. But it's like, did those help? You know what I mean? Like,
I
what were
don't
they
know. Do
for? I
mask
don't
helps,
understand.
Jacob? Are we gonna have that debate?
I masks absolutely help, right? But do those particular bird masks help, or was it just a
I
cool
think
look?
back then anything helped.
It's just like having any kind of
It
barrier between you and the
literally
disease.
anything helped back then.
Dude, that was we were talking about it earlier today, just like between us, and it was people like to glamorize history and like living back through history and stuff like that. But it's like it'd be the worst experience of your life if you were to take a time travel machine, head back
Always
in time,
mostly the smell.
and it's the smell. First thing's gonna hit you. The second thing's gonna hit you probably like any of
Cul-
those diseases that exist in
Culture shock. Yeah.
culture stuff. I mean, this it's just crazy.
Are you
I think that it'd be
vaccinated for all this shit?
yeah. I don't even know if I am, dude. I don't. If I go back, I might catch them like some kind of weird strand of like the flu before it was the flu. Like I don't know what
Yeah.
do they call the flu before the flu? You know what I mean? Like
Death.
ye old flu. I don't know. I don't know.
Just death.
It's just death. Yeah, but
Well, that,
fucking
I was thinking about that too before you get to the thing about to talk about. Like, if you had a kidney infection,
mm,
200 years ago, like, yeah, now you have, you know, antibiotics or steroids to use, and it helps, right?
yeah.
Okay, so what if you don't? What if you didn't? Do you die of a kidney infection at 25?
I would assume that that's probably why a lot of people just died
You know what
early
I mean?
on. Like they just had things that were wrong with them and they just went undiagnosed, or there was something they could do to diagnose
Have
it.
our
So it's
bodies become so acclimated to medication now?
I would argue that if you took the
I don't want to
medications
get into that. You know what I
away,
mean?
it would
That,
probably be worse off,
that's a
right?
dangerous like tunnel.
Yeah. I think that we've lived too long to know the ramifications of it, right? I think that people have forgotten how bad things were. I think we could say that. I think that these people who are like anti vaccinations, again, have lived too long and don't remember what it was like. So I actually don't think that there's like a whole lot of people alive that lived in like the polio era, right?
You want to know why?
Because they all died from polio.
'Cause
They're all fucking dead, dude. They don't instead of watching like movies and like reading the documents on how bad the diseases were, like they're just
yeah,
like fucking must have not been that bad, dude. We don't even need this shit anymore, dude.
yeah.
Whatever. So
But the whole point of that was you have finally decided to watch the show. It's over a year old at this point. Now,
the second
small.
season is yeah.
No. What are you talking
First
about?
season? What show are you
There's
talking
only
about?
one season, pal.
A Shogun?
Shogun.
I thought it was
Plays
two seasons. I thought you said they were
one
doing. Are they
They
doing
are.
two seasons?
They
Oh,
are
okay.
doing another season, but filming doesn't start till 2026
I don't like that. I think just leave
because
it.
it's one book and everyone was just like this. It's like this really amazing show that won
Yeah,
all these awards. Now,
it's
to be
great.
fair, I'm not sure if I ever talked about it on the pod. I know I
I
had
think you
mentioned to you
did.
that I was like watching, but like it was not one of those things that I sold you really hard on.
Hmm.
Um, I I'm not surprised that you like it, but I would not have been surprised if you didn't because A,
Fair.
you don't like to read,
I love subtitles. What are you talking about?
But that's
Like,
so weird. That goes against
I don't
everything.
understand it. I don't know why. I love
It's
subtitles.
because it's being different, and it is slow. But
You say it's slow,
I mean,
but
it
they do a
it is
really good
slower in
job.
nature. Where like you know,
Things are put into
and it's long,
motion.
and it's
Yeah.
long.
And it's like, but it's they do it in such a way in which there's tension almost the entire time,
It's a
right?
fucking phenomenal TV show for
They
anyone who
do a
hasn't watched Shogun.
it is absolutely like if you were looking for like
Japan's.
an Asian inspired, if you were looking for like a Game of Thrones inspired
If you liked Ghost of Tsushima,
yeah, and or if you like Game of Thrones, but like you wanted it, but like only in like medieval Japan,
but like good all the way through.
yeah, and like yeah, solid all the way through. There it is.
How far are you
So,
into it?
episode 5, I think I'm on now. 5.5. I'm like almost to 6, I think. But
There are 10. I think it's 10.
man, I'm gonna be upset when it's over. But at the same time, it's like
It's a really good
it's
show. Like it's a
such a
really
good
good
show.
show.
Yeah, I've been having
Part
a lot of
of
fun
it,
watching it.
part of it got me in the mood and got me itchy to write a potential Timber one shot and like the
Okay.
civil warness of like how that show plays out. Obviously not in that scale, but
Yeah.
that was like, oh man, like that you watch something and it sort of like directly inspires another thing, sort of deal. But
Well, it's
um,
sort of inspired me to go and look for a Japan
Japan,
a
the
Japanese
Japans,
history podcast, which I found earlier today. So
very cool. Yeah, I mean, like Japan's really cool. Like it's wild how even back then how much they valued women, but they also didn't.
yeah, they had like empresses and shit, and
But
like
they also didn't.
yeah, and it's really weird. Yeah,
Like
they would like
way more progressive than like the rest of the world. Very conservative in how they do things, but also like they still didn't treat women better than like what everyone else did, but it's
yeah, it's
still
like being like being like
because there was
I'm the
because there's that
best.
whole part like
Yeah,
you're right around the part where they're like, a woman is still a man's property and what he does is what he does.
yeah, that was it. Actually,
But
I
I
finished
can't
episode
have
5. Now that I think
but
about
I
it, yeah,
can't have
because
my translator harmed.
yeah, so basically like your property, but then again, like she's so I don't want to spoil anything though, dude.
Right, don't
Yeah,
swallow.
okay, so
But
yeah. I
so
got
like
you.
I love Sonata, Hero Sonata. I think he is so cool. I think
I don't
he's
know which one
just
that is. It's easy. Actually,
Toranaga. He's Toranaga.
Tornaga's fucking dope,
He's
dude.
the main character.
He's bad as shit, dude. He's fucking
Okay, so what's cool is he's in John Wick 4
hell yeah, dude. I can't
and
wait to
he's
get to that one. Shouts
bad
out to
as fuck. He's
Patreon. We're eventually
bad
gonna
as
get there.
fuck. But he's also motherfucking Hanzo Hasashi. He is Scorpion in the most recent Mortal Kombat movie.
I can see it.
And he's just very good. He's just
What is
very good.
who's the dude that's always trying to double cross him that is like he's dumb as shit? Uh man, it's he's got
What are you talking
the
about?
the dude
In Shogun or
in
like in Mortal
Shogun, sorry,
Kombat?
in
Okay,
Shogun,
because like I'm
sorry,
talking
in
about one thing.
Shogun. I can't remember it's he's he Toranaga borrows his army essentially, like takes over his army, but I
Hmm.
can't remember the name of the guy.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, but anyways,
He's
that
kind of
guy,
goofy.
he looks like he would be Shang Tsung.
I
Like
mean,
he's got that kind of like Shang Tsungy vibe where it's like trying to play both
he's
sides, so I
not
come
as
out on top.
he's not as menacing.
I guess. Yeah, he does. Yeah, now you say that. Yeah, I guess. Speaking of it,
Um,
give it a
how do you?
shot. Everybody watch it.
I mean, if you haven't watched Shogun, it's
It's good
Shogun.
to put that every time you say it.
You have to. You have to emphasize.
Shogun.
Shogun. Since we last did a regular episode, a surprise to no one, Grand Theft Auto 6 was delayed, and it. I was like, okay,
Eh.
all right.
Yeah, you tell me that it got delayed.
Okay. Yeah, and it's like not to undersell it because
Okay.
I know that like a lot of people are looking forward to it, but again, they haven't announced it, but it's gonna be $100 when it comes out because they told us years ago it was gonna be $100. But it's much like we were talking about with Nate. There is a fine line between like realism in video games, and I just kind of don't give a shit anymore. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're focusing on like it's like Rockstar focuses on the wrong shit. Like,
I
yeah, okay,
mean,
you made a technical masterpiece. Okay, it's a marvel to look at. Really cool. but like it's boring.
And it's that's every Grand Theft Auto game is like it's cool, it's fun. You get to do whatever you want. You get to
Dude,
literally
3 was
be whoever you want to
revolutionary,
be.
man.
Yeah, you get to beat people up. You get to, you get to go and like pick up a lady of the night. You get to drive around in a
Like,
car. You get to like steal money and shit like that. And it's like that's cool to be a criminal and all, but it's like every single game.
well, that's also because we've lived in 20 years of the sandbox.
Yeah,
And
it's
what I mean,
exactly the
because like
same. Like it's
I
just
don't
like
know if you know this, the
more.
first like two Grand Theft Autos were top down.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
And
I
then
never played them, but
yeah, but
I've seen
3
clips and
was
stuff
the
like that.
one
Yeah,
where you're like it's like
it was
third
the
person with the and again revolutionary.
first time I
And
like
then
shot guns in a game at
and so
pedestrians.
yeah, right. And then like just the freedom of what that does and the ripple effect it has for games going forward. But like man, I just don't care. Like I don't even know if someone gave me a free copy if I would give a shit. I mean, I just
It's
like
gonna be cool.
it's gonna
It's
make money
probably
and
it's gonna make there's a very steady base of like GTA players out there who are
sure
keeping
the
the
GTA
online
online.
community
I bet
alive.
that I bet that does not launch. I bet GTA Online is not ready when it comes out.
Dude, that is gonna be the first thing that they try and get ready because that is their money maker at this point. Like they could
I
just
mean, it
print
wasn't
money
ready
with
when
that.
5 came out.
It'll be a bit for sure, but I think that they've had. I mean, hell, they've been making content for fucking five online for years now, decades now. If they don't get it right
Dude,
whenever it first comes out, hell, I mean, what are
5
you?
came out on the 360 and PS3.
Oh man, so old, buddy. That
Um,
game's so old.
yeah. But
But
it's
it's
just
like,
like, then you get like cocky, like smarmy fucks, Randy Pitchford, and he's charging $80 or whatever for Borderlands 4. And if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it work. And it's just like,
you
dude,
can eat my entire asshole, buddy. You know how
like,
I'm gonna
dude,
find a way for that to work? I'm gonna wait till it's on sale, or I get it for a penny on some kind of like. I'll go down to McKay's and grab it for a
you'll
penny or
get
some
it on the
shit.
Epic Game Store in 10 years.
Yeah, so you can eat my asshole with this whole like you'll find
But
a
do you
way.
even care? Like, you're a bigger Borderlands guy than I am. Do you even give a shit?
No, because I
I
didn't
don't.
give a shit about the last five games that they made or whatever the hell it was, dude. Like it's
I
like again,
played.
it's
Yeah.
the same concept where it's like it's just like GTA where it's very cool. I get it. It's funny. It's got its sect of people that love
Is
it.
it funny though?
Shouts out to Wes and Mike and them. They love the not the GTA series, but the Borderlands series. But it's
I will
after the
admit that it
first
is.
three,
It is much more fun with people for sure.
yeah, after the first three, the same exact concept. Like yes, the story
After the first
changes
one, Jacob, like nothing changed.
after the story changes, yes. Arguably, I think the first one had the most compelling story, just because like
Because it was new.
it's rad as shit and it was new and it was like you got to go to this alien world and fight this giant ass monster and shit like that
Pandora.
and it's fucking rad. It's cool. Like you had aliens and it's like super duper neat. But again, it's the same thing over and over again where it's like it's cool that they have a bunch of guns. It's cool the powers and stuff they give, but it's just like I can only take so much of the cell shaded too. Like it's
How
like
do you like? We went through that period of time a couple years ago where like
mhm,
all of these things that I loved were then being like either adapted into video games
mhm,
or vice
mhm.
versa. Video games were being adapted into movies, or obscure comic book characters that no one had ever heard of gets butchered into a Disney show. All these things, right? Like there was a period of time where I was just taking L after L after L between
Yeah.
like all these things. Like all of my favorite things were being brought out on the street and just like shot in the back of the head. And I didn't like it, right? And now we're sort of getting to a point where it is happening to you, and I could not be happier.
Yeah.
because Netflix One Piece exists.
No, it doesn't, dude. Not in my universe. I just hate how well received it was. Okay, I don't want to get into it
Don't
again.
okay, but again, it's like that's the thing. That's the knife that I can drive into you to like set you off, and it makes me happy because I'm that kind of person. Because
That's
misery
fine. It's
misery
fine.
loves company, right?
Yeah, dude, I get it.
Now, one of I would say in the last decade, something that you have fallen head over heels for,
Hmm.
Elden Ring.
Hmm.
Would you be surprised if I told you it has now been greenlit to get an Elden Ring movie?
I would be surprised if I hadn't seen it somewhere. I think Shelby had mentioned it to like
Yeah.
whenever we were laying in bed, and she was like, "They're making an Elden Ring movie," and I was like, "Huh."
Now it's going to be produced by A24.
That was
So,
the weird thing about it because like A24 does shit like that's like they're kind of like that artsy fartsy
mhm. Like Blumhouse,
studio.
but with a
Yeah,
little bit more class.
yeah, and they're supposed to do like thought provoking movies and stuff like that. Like they have some really good ones. And some like I think that were I don't know they're fine. But anyways, you were saying
So it's going to be directed by Alex Garland,
don't know
and,
him.
and you probably don't know who that is. I believe
I'll Google him.
he's done some war movies. I think he did that Civil War movie that came out recently.
Civil
Um,
War, Ex Machina. Okay, I did Ex
yeah,
Machina.
okay.
It was pretty good.
I, I
Warfare,
was,
Annihilation. Okay,
yeah,
he did 28 Days Later and 28 Days. He did both the 28 Days later,
yeah.
28 years later. Sorry, I read that
28
wrong.
years later and 28 days later. I don't think he did 28. Oh,
Weeks
he did
later.
20. Did he do weeks and days? I don't fucking know. He did the new one. Yeah.
He didn't do. He did 28 weeks later. Yeah, I did all
Regardless,
three.
he has the
Yeah,
track record of like, okay, this might be okay.
yeah.
And
He has got decent track record for sure. He's gonna make it bloody for sure. So
is that something that can be crammed into a less than 2 hour movie?
if you want my Elden Ring opinion on this,
Give me the short version.
I don't know, man. I don't. I would assume that there's probably a storyline that they're going to go with within Elden Ring, but it's like I guess theoretically speaking, you could, but it would have to be like the basic storyline of like trying to gather the Elden Ring together again. Like, but then again, you start
So
thinking
it's
about
Lord of the
it,
Rings.
kind of, I guess, but then it's not, but because it's like do you how far back do you go? Like, do you go back to like whenever Ronnie hired the Black Knight Knife Assassins to like fucking shank Godwin the Golden and like also herself and like
How
and
much
it's
reading
like
am I going to have to do to make the story make sense?
yeah, and then it's like, is there gonna be obviously like the incest in there? Is that gonna be in there? Are they gonna let that fly? And
How
it's
many
like
bosses? Is it going to include the
how many
expansion pack?
bosses? Like, is it like, are you going back and talking about the war between uh Melania and Melania? I don't know how the fuck to say her name. Whatever is the bitch
You're a
with a
fake
sword
fan, bro.
arm. The now you got me worried about it because like yeah, I can't remember the name. Like Melina or whatever. Like versus oh
Trump?
man, no Melania.
Melania?
Yeah, Melania Trump versus fucking big dude. Oh, man, I'm blanking on his name now. Radon, General Radon. Like,
From
is it a story
Godzilla?
about is it a story about the war? Like, and there's because the whole opening scene is like they
Isn't he in
open up on a
Godzilla?
war. Yeah, yeah, he is actually.
I think
He's like the
I
three-headed
think it's Rodan.
dragon.
Rodan.
Yeah, it's three-headed dragon that comes out of the earth or whatever. It's a cyborg dragon and shit.
Hmm. Mecha Godzilla.
Mecha Godzilla is fucking rad. But then there's like the Hydra, the Mecha Hydra, whatever it was. Man, I love that shit.
You're not ADHD at all, are you?
Nah, but then it's like so I don't know what. So it is going to be neat to see kind of like what they do with it. And yeah, I'm
Are you
obviously
going
going
to
to
go
go
to the
see it.
theater?
Yeah, I'm absolutely going to go to the theater and see it because like it's just fucking. I want to see what they do with it. I want to see
Sure.
what story they're telling. Are they going to tell the overall story of like what
I think it'll have
fucking
to be dumbed down.
what is Melania's brother name?
Dude, I don't know. I didn't play it.
Fuck. Ah man, it's the expansion. The expansion's all about
Bob.
him.
Erd
Sure.
Tree.
Erdtree Bob, are they going to tell him like his like is it all about his story and like how he's trying to ascend to godhood essentially and like by pitting all of his brothers and sisters and cousins and brothers and lovers together against each other and it's like are they going to tell the story about Radon and like his love affair with his cousin niece
I
I
would
don't
say
know
no.
gay cousin niece because like technically like I guess he's a guy I don't know dude these are gods and goddesses
I
too
went to
like
the
this
theater the
genuinely
other day.
matter and then it's like okay what'd you say
Stitch.
how was it like I heard it blew the box office up.
People are upset about it.
I heard they changed some
It
shit too.
no, people are upset that it made so much money. It made more money at opening weekend than I think Thunderbolts made in totality so far.
It also made more than their last live action Disney film, which was apparently Snow White, which I didn't know had a live action because I thought that shit was already done before.
It was a
But
heaping pile of shit apparently. But is okay. I am not ignorant on Stitch. My daughter is like it's one of the few fandoms she has. She loves Stitch. She has a ton
mm,
of Stitch shit. Loves it.
yeah,
I have seen the movie, the original movie, so many times that I kind of don't like. Have you ever seen something so much that you kind of just don't know?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, because like I half-ass watch it sort of thing.
Like it's like you watched it at least 3 or 4 times all the way through, but then it's on in the background. It's just like it's just there. It just exists.
But
Like
it's
it's
like,
just
yeah, like I couldn't tell you what they've changed. Like I
so
couldn't tell,
yeah.
but like I did not want to see it, but I wanted to experience that with my child
Okay.
because like I had talked about, months ago, the pure adulation and joy when she watched that trailer for the first time. Like you fucking want that. Like you just live for that
Yeah.
shit. Like I haven't had that since I was probably her age, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we had made a whole thing. It was me, Christina, her friend, and her friend's mom. So like we all went together. And it is an incredibly cute movie for for who it is trying to appeal to. Um, but like her friend, like there was a moment where her friend was crying and Zoe cried, and then Zoe like comforted her and like gave her stitch, and
Oh
so it was
man, that's
very fucking
adorable.
fucking adorable and fucking sweet. Like that's what it was about. You know what I mean? Like
So Hana means family, dude.
no one gets left
No
behind,
one
right?
left behind.
And so like, and the girl that played Lilo like was pretty good. So like, that's about the brink of like what I can tell you. Like, would I watch it again on my own? Absolutely not.
Yeah, because it'd be weird. I feel like if you were watching it on your
But
own, but
like, would if Zoe wanted me to watch it with her? Yes, like I would.
I'm
Speaking of weird, tell me if this is weird. This is weird.
okay.
We went out to eat the other day.
All
Okay,
right.
and every once in a while, Zoe will uh decide that she like wants to play with her shit. So like she's kind of like went through Barbies and like was done really quick. Like there was like maybe in like a year's worth of like interest.
Yeah.
And like we have just like accumulated all this shit because like what do you get her? Okay, just Barbie stuff, right? And it's like she just got so much and like like she literally has stuff she's never played with. But like outside of like opening it, right? You know how it is.
Yes, I do.
But so like she went through Barbies like the phase quick, but like she's always sort of been into baby dolls. Like she since
Like
she was
taking care
like
of baby dolls and
well, like
whatnot.
since she was old enough, like even when like she couldn't walk, she would push the
Which is like
thing.
weird. It's a weird thing.
Okay, whatever. And
Yeah.
so the other day we went to go eat with in-laws. It was a what I almost said President's Day, Memorial Day, and it was like rainy, so like we didn't do, like, there was nothing you could do
Yeah.
except go out to eat because that's all it
Gotta
does here is
love
rain.
the fucking rain.
And also since the last time we've had two fucking tornadoes. I don't know if we talked about that, but anyways,
What is that even?
we had an earthquake and then two tornadoes. It's wild. Anyways, so we went out to eat. It was fine. Like we did the normal thing. And as we're leaving, okay, like this like she couldn't find her baby that she had taken.
Okay.
She had like set it down, right? She had set it down in like a chair and just forgot. She like went to the bathroom to pee to come back. I was like, hey, don't forget your baby because I didn't want to leave it or whatever and deal with that. And then like about the same time that I had mentioned this fucking old lady comes out of nowhere like a goddamn witch, dude. I did not
It's like,
know.
oh God, dude.
I
No,
did
thank
not.
you.
I did not know where she came from, and just like like the eeriness of like we're talking about this, and she's like makes a beeline for Zoe and starts
No,
talking to her directly, and it was just
no,
like,
don't like that.
right.
Don't like that at all,
And
dude.
she starts talking to her. She's like, I saw that you had this baby doll and blah, and then starts and then like takes the doll out of Zoe's hands
No,
and
dude.
is like holding the baby doll. Okay. And
Ah,
then like I'm beside this witch lady and I'm just like I don't like I'm watching Zoe, right? Cause
yeah,
and I'm like I'm close enough that like if this old witch tries to grab her, like I'll fucking take her, I'll
yeah. I
tackle
get
her.
just like karate chop to the wrist and fucking
Right.
break her
Like
arm or some
I'm
shit.
that
Yeah,
close. But like I mean I am focused, laser focused on my daughter. I'm like
yeah.
watching her. And then like I sort of like glance over at Christina and she's just like and then my in-laws are kind of like engaging her and like
Yeah,
talking to
yeah.
her like but and like Okay, so
You were in
then
hyper focus mode, so you really don't know what she's saying. I'm assuming, like at this point.
she's talking to Zoe about this baby doll and how she had a baby doll that like she used to carry around with her. But like this witch lady was literally treating this baby doll like it was a real fucking baby. Okay.
That's like
Okay.
I okay, yeah, keep going.
Here's the fucking weird part. There's two weird parts. You're like, wait, it wasn't
It
weird
comes to
enough.
life. The baby doll comes to life. She's like, "Here you go," and she hands you a baby, and you're
Okay,
like,
so
"Like,
like
take this shit."
I'm sort of trying to lean the okay, look, let's go. You know what I mean?
You try to box this lady out. You're like, "Hey, we're trying to get out of the
I'm like,
door."
like sort of trying to head this way.
Yeah,
And like, first of all, Christine and I are on the same wavelength. This is fucking weird.
yeah.
Like
I
this
think it's
is
weird. I 2 seconds into the story when you're like this witch lady, like,
like
yeah,
this is weird. My in-laws didn't think it was weird at all. Just like, what the
difference
fuck?
in generations, really.
And I guess the sentiment is like she's just like an old lady and she was being nice and like Zoe attracts so many people, dude. Like she's like a magnet,
Yeah, I get, yeah.
right? And it's just like the energy she brings. She's happy go lucky. She's a social butterfly. But like again, this was like unprovoked out of nowhere. Here's the fucking weird part. As we're
Okay,
walking out, I turn around. I don't know. I can see the entire dining area. Where did this witch go?
she's
Like she like fucking like disappeared into like
she's
fucking
like under the
smoke,
table.
dude.
She just lives under that table that you guys are sitting at. She's
Know
been
what
there
I'm
the whole
saying?
time. That's so creepy, man.
Like I couldn't find her. I like literally I had like stopped and was like I had stopped to purposely to look around to make sure that like Zoe's back here, whatever. And like
You
I
turn around,
didn't
she's in your car, and you like
I
rush to your
like I
car, and she's
don't
not in there
see I
anymore.
don't see this witch lady.
Ugh, I feel like she's gonna pop up behind me, dude. Like she's watching me in the window. Like, don't put that curse on me now,
I know,
man.
dude.
That's so
And I'm just like,
creepy.
what the fuck,
And like
man?
it's like one of those things where it's hard because yes, it does seem a little bit like this lady had a child at one point, and like I don't know, because it's like a whole different connotation.
Yeah.
Like maybe she's just really into baby dolls too. Like maybe she could never have
Maybe
children,
that's her grandfather clock. It's collecting
Maybe,
babies.
maybe it is. And it's
Baby
like
dolls, I should say, not actual babies.
maybe she, I don't know, did she like smear something on the baby doll? Did you test it for anything? Because like hell, she might have cursed the thing. Your family's already got one curse to deal with. Okay, I don't think you need another one. Okay, like how do we know that she didn't get marked for some kind of like ritual later on in life? And we got a fucking paranormal activity, the marked ones situation on our hand. That's a callback to a movie that nobody saw. Like it was
Right.
like the fifth iteration of that series. Uh, that is creepy as fuck. That
Isn't
is
it?
like I don't like those interactions. I just
It's like I don't know what you're supposed to do. Like you have you have a bit of decorum where you're just like, yeah, like you don't want to be rude and be like, get the fuck away.
yeah. Or I
But
mean, but then again, do you right?
I don't know. Like
Because I don't want to be an
because
asshole. Yes, but like I feel
the way that
threatened right
you and I
now.
think it's like, yeah, we can make this whole thing like, oh, she was a witch and like she was trying to kidnap my
Yeah,
child and put her in a cauldron. And it's like ultimately she was harmless, or
yeah.
she
She probably
seemed to
just
be
went to the
harmless.
bathroom, turned
And she
around like as she was walking to the
and she's
bathroom.
probably like, has like slight case of dementia. And she's probably just remembering fond memories from like 67 years ago or whatever. Okay, again, harmless, but I just genuinely like operate on a like I don't fucking trust people.
Yeah, head on a swivel, man. I get it.
Always. Since the dawn of this podcast, I've always talked about.
It's
It's
like
how I operate. Is just like fucking peripherals. Like I'm like Mac, ocular pat downs, dude. Like that's why I don't like my back to be when I go out to eat. I have to sit on the corner. Like if we're in a booth, I gotta have the
I
first
let my
out.
guard down, but it's more so to like I dare somebody to do
I
something
don't
to me.
like my back to the door because it's
Yeah,
protection, dude. Like I need to know the exit, and like dude, it called me crazy. But like when we go places, like in my head, I'm like, I have an exit plan if shit goes awry. Like
yeah.
I know where I'm going.
My exit plan is to kick the table over, use it as protection.
John Wick style.
Yeah, John Wick style. Fucking find some plates and silverware. Start throwing things. Okay, they're there to kill. Okay, so you need to make sure that you're also there to kill. Anything's a weapon. That's what I say it is.
Yeah. Man,
So
I don't know. It was just
that is a creepy situation to be in,
and it's not even Halloween
and
season, dude.
and I'm glad it was you, not me. That's for sure.
Well, you'd have to go places, Jacob, for this to happen to you.
And that's why I don't go places. So
Yeah, that's why. What is the most useless piece of currency?
I mean, I know the answer. It's hard to like. I don't.
It's
Fucking
pennies. It's
yeah,
pennies.
ruples. I don't know, dude. Fucking yeah, it's pennies.
Ruples.
Ruples is, I think, the Russian currency that fucking got
I thought
phased out
that's
or some
what I
shit.
thought that was in Zelda.
No, that's
That's rubies.
rupees. That's
Rupees, yeah. Yeah.
rupees.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
ruples, I'm pretty sure is like
I
the Russian
mean,
currency that was phased
if
out.
you told me that The Legend of Zelda was based on Russia, I would be like, yeah, okay. It
I
checks
don't see
out.
why not. Sure, like yeah,
Hyrule, Moscow.
same places really. Yeah, when you think about
Are
it,
you
like
wearing a Zelda
fucking
shirt?
yeah, yeah, dude. I'm wearing Shelby shirt.
You're wearing your wife's shirt?
I've worn all my shirts in the podcast already, so now I've got to start cycling through her shirts. I got to
How
spice
many
it up.
shirts do you have? Like
I
four?
only have like 12. Yeah, dude. I only have a very
Why?
because I have
Because you're
ADHD
cheap.
and it's very easy for me to just I only wear like four shirts anyways because it's like if I'm comfortable in it, I'm gonna wear it. So
And then you wear it out and it's got holes in it.
yeah,
Bro,
I feel like that.
you need one of those subscription services where they send you an outfit a month.
Man, if we had a sponsor, talk about the ultimate segue potential. What I need is today's sponsor, Stitch Fix. And it's like, hell yeah, we just jump right into it. But anyways,
That's what you need.
pennies are useless.
Well, they are useless, and for the longest time, like I've heard that, oh, because like when I was growing up, it's like, why don't they just get rid of pennies and just round everything up to the nearest five or zero? And
I'm
it's like,
pretty sure there was some reason they didn't do it, but
well, they're gonna have to because pennies are being phased out of production. Um,
takes three pennies to make a penny. So
takes three pennies to make a penny. And it's probably the most tossed coin to The Witcher of all time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, nice.
you just who gives a shit? You got a penny. Like, I don't want it. Like, how many times in your life have you been like they give you 13 cents and you just like I'll keep the dime?
I keep the change always, but I never use the pennies. You know what I
Do
mean?
you know
Like I've
when the
never
penny was
used
introduced to the United States?
1943.
1793.
I was really close.
You were not even
I
close.
had the one and the three in there, and they were in the right spots. So I was pretty decently close.
Um, like, and it's also, Lincoln's on the five, he's on the penny, yada yada. But apparently,
Why
2020.
does he get to?
I mean, Washington's on two.
Why did he get to?
Well,
I guess he's the
Washington's the.
first president. That's fair. Okay, I give it
I
to
mean,
him.
I
But
mean,
Lincoln,
Lincoln was pretty fucking important, bro.
he did do the Emancipation Proclamation, but that did not, in fact, end slavery. It wasn't until the Civil War happened, and then even then, it was like people were still pieces of shit. You know what I mean? And fucking, I hate slavery. I'll say it.
Good for you.
Yeah, dude. You're
You know,
welcome, everybody. Problem solved.
hot take.
Yeah, hot take. I hate racist people and I hate slavery. So cancel me,
Um,
baby. Cancel me.
yeah, so
So
2026 is when they're gonna phase it out. But like, okay, so are you just gonna stop using it or because I mean it'll take is it gonna be like the two because like dude, the $2 bill. Like it was phased out, but you can still use it.
I
I
mean, I
have
would they
I
have to
have a
still
$2
use it,
bill.
right? Because
Two
it's like
dollar bill looks weird, bro. It is a weird looking dollar
isn't it like just a bunch of
bill.
them men like it's like the Declaration of Independence is like the scene or whatever, right?
I think you can still go to the bank and get a $2 bill like mint.
There was that whole story, like there was a whole line of stories back in the day whenever people were trying to use a $2 bill at a restaurant. Like this one in particular, I remember a guy got like kicked out of the store because both the cashier and the security guard were like, "No, it's a fake bill," and they like kicked him out or
It does
whatever.
look fake. I mean, it just looks like visually weird
Yeah, but
compared to the rest of the
yeah,
monies.
I
But I
guess.
mean, how long are we going to reach a point in our lifetime where they're going to phase out like money production?
They've been working on it for a hot minute, buddy. That is a hot button issue from what I understand. Because but then again, it's like also if you phase out cash, it's like then it's all literally like you're fucking hinging your bets on digital currency. And then it just becomes a fucking monopoly game, dude. There's not like then you a few zeros and ones and you're a millionaire
That's
or
that's how
broke.
that's how crypto takes over, dude.
Don't give these pieces of shit any more reason to think that they're somebody, you know? Like crypto's
Um,
coming back. It's coming back. Shut the fuck up. I don't
it
give a
would have
shit.
to have left to have come back, or it would
Yeah.
have to have worked the first time.
Hey,
Um,
you
you
know,
know, one of the best bits in the 308 episodes that we've done is constantly bringing you people that are like-minded like you, where they're weird in nature and they do shit. But you always have a pushback because you're like,
they're not
yeah,
like minded or like me.
you always have a pushback where you're like, well, you can just do it and fuck your toaster, just don't tell people about it.
Yeah.
But again, everyone's a little bit of a narcissist in their own ways, in their own way. So, you know. there's this guy, infamous apparently. I found out about him 5 minutes ago, so he ain't that fucking popular.
Super popular. What are we talking about?
But I don't like the, oh, fuck you. I don't like the,
Flashbang everybody real quick.
yeah, I got flashbang. I don't like I mean, I guess technically he's a performer, right? But like,
Yeah.
are you a performer if you don't do anything?
Yeah. Unfortunately, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. Like
I've, listen, as someone who's been to New York City and seen street performers, never fucking seen this guy.
that's because he's too busy blending in with his surroundings and
Yeah,
being a
maybe I
fucking
stepped on him. I
piece
don't
of
know. Anyways,
being a piece of carpet, dude. Fucking
there's this guy in New York City who, his name is Kevin Carpet. And his entire shtick, his entire fucking gimmick is he likes to dress up as a carpet and be stepped on by people. He says it's not a fetish.
Okay. But you can say that all you want. Fucking, you know.
It's
So,
art, quote unquote.
I did want to check real quick before like I started bashing this guy. Uh I don't know if he has a TikTok account. I would assume that he has a TikTok account, but I don't know. I don't want to make
Someone
an
did
ass out of
post a
myself.
clip to social media and it gathered 3.5 million views, calling it perverted and sick.
Yeah, it's like, okay, grandma, calm down, first of all, okay? He might not be doing it for sexual reasons. I don't care what he's doing it for. The thing I care about is the fact that like this has become news, you know? Because it's like just do the thing and shut the fuck up, right? I understand.
Well,
But
this
then
is
it's
all
if you're a
okay.
performer or whatever, I don't know. Like I don't know if there's like special rules for like because it's like how do you get people to like your
New York
art or
City is kind
whatnot?
of wild.
Like, yeah, I've heard. You know, it's a lot of people.
It's
Big
well,
Apple.
but there's not. I mean, not to cast stones because everybody has their own issues, but like New York's dirty. Like New York
Yeah.
City's dirty. And there's been a whole like thing about, again, I don't live there, so like even talking to like Tony Nacho like months ago about it, like the mayor has made a bunch of changes and like get into the political landscape stuff. Anyways, this whole I guess this guy has gained traction because somebody on TikTok like started complaining, saying that what I don't love about this is if it's not consensual at all because nobody knows there's a person in there. It's alarming. It's perverted. Someone could trip. If it's a sexual desire or fetish, it should be disclosed to all parties involved. It's a
But
tripping hazard.
okay, I'll give them that. OSHA would not approve. It is probably a tripping hazard. I'll give them that.
Is it
But
OSHA if you're not being paid?
hmm, I think it's probably city safety. Is there somebody like city safety
I've been
council or
in
some
New York
shit?
City, bro. There's a lot of, I mean, dude, there's fucking turtles that live in the sewer, bro, that practice
So
martial arts. Come on.
yeah, so it's
There's
probably like
villains that attack it weekly.
yeah. They never talk about the fact that like it's a safer place whenever they do have these vigilante justices on the loose, you know. But so it's like,
Is it though?
but I mean, like, so is it any
It,
say like you
there's
figure
a
you
there's
figure
a
like
magnet in New York City, dude. It's a hotbed of crime.
but okay. I'm just saying if like 80% of America's superheroes lived in New York City, would that not make it the safest city on the planet? Like, why is it always so like rampant with
Because
crime?
the argument is because they attract the supervillains. Without the superheroes, there are no supervillains.
Right. But I feel like
So
the
if you
biggest
get rid of the
failure to the American
superheroes, then you get
people,
rid of the supervillains, and you just have petty crime that the cops deal with.
yeah, but I mean, the biggest failure to American people is the
Allegedly.
fact that they can't stop the crime. Like, they're superheroes and crime's still happening. People are still dying. You know, people are still suffering.
Causation.
I say hashtag get rid of the superheroes. So,
I mean that there have been multiple stories and like things written about like Batman is the biggest blight to Gotham because he's the one who enables all the supervillains because it's like it's not just petty crime. All these people have to one up their game to take out this vigilante.
yeah, I think about it. Like, yeah, he is a piece of shit. Get out of there. Go
He
to like
whoa
Texas or
whoa
something.
whoa
You know, it's like
whoa.
Tony Stark. Like, the whole reason the world's in danger is because fucking Tony Stark put him there, right? So
No.
get him out. They're the same
Are you
person, you know.
are you trying to say that billionaires are bad?
I can't physically say it because I'll be shut down and I'll be canceled for it. But
Will you?
yeah, I mean, they already canceled me because I'm not a racist and I hate slavery. But if they had any other reason to cancel me, it'd be because like, yeah, billionaires are bad. So
Say it. You won't, no balls.
billionaires fucking suck.